When I was a child, I talked as a child. I thought as a child. I responded as a child. But when I became an adult, I set aside childish ways. Now that we all are older and have a little bit more of understanding about life and movie experience, are we really just going to pretend like the movie Matilda didn't have all the characteristics of a villain origin story? Let me state my case. Granted, Matilda may be justified by her bad actions by calling them righteous. Nevertheless, she did do really bad things, especially for a 6-year-old.
6.5.
I mean 6.5. Remember this, in the movie Matilda, she talked back to her parents, she slammed the door in her father's house on his face. She blew up the TV. And remember, back in those days, there was only one TV for the entire house. So that was a catastrophe. She glued her dad's hat to his head. She stole. She walked right out the house late at night when the street lights were on. She yelled at her father. She trespassed, darn near basically broke into someone's house. And you could tell she took joy in the people that she despised suffering. She scared and humiliated a middle-aged woman with her gifts, that being Miss Trunchbull. And did you guys see her waste an entire box of Cheerios? Now, as a parent, that is a no-no, a big no-no. See, you wouldn't have spilled that box of cereal if you was using your hands, little girl. That's what I would say as her parent. And you got to remember, she basically encouraged a student-wide rebellion twice. Once in the auditorium, and the last one was towards the end of the movie when there was basically a food fight, but only aimed at Miss Trunchbull. Matilda was the person that encouraged them both. And I don't want to hear any justifications to her actions, honestly, because most people feel justified when they do bad things. That still doesn't make it right. You don't fight fire with fire, right? The perspective that I have on this movie now is completely different from the perspective that I had when I was a child, that's for sure. And for those of you who think no, that she wouldn't become a villain when she got older because she was adopted by Miss Honey in the end and she's supposed to be like this sweet and lovable lady. To you, I smack my teeth. And I say that because she used to disobey Miss Honey. Miss Honey said, "Don't go in Trunchbull's house. Promise me you won't go back in there. Don't take anything out of Miss Trunchbull's house. No, we can't." And you remember that time that they were in class and Miss Honey said, "Raise your hand if you want to answer." And Matilda just blurted out her answer. Okay, well, that last one was only a joke. But let's be serious. Miss Honey may have felt like Matilda was a bright child, and because of that, she bonded with her as a teacher. But Matilda's telekinetic powers were way too advanced for Mrs. Honey's calcified pineal gland. And considering the fact that in the movie, 9 times out of 10, Matilda's telekinetic powers were powered by anger and rage, she would more than likely need the feeling of rage to grow her powers. Something I'm sure Miss Honey wouldn't approve of. And I'm not saying Matilda shouldn't have done the things that she did. I'm simply calling a spade a villain. And if you enjoyed this video, don't leave my channel just yet. Check out this next one.